Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are watching Casual Geographic. While you probably have no idea what a whale is. So, do you know what a whale is, Adrian? As the whale expert?
I,
As the whale
uh,
connoisseur?
those are like manatees, right? Manatees,
They're
sea
manatees?
cows.
Whales are manatees? Or
Yup.
sea cows?
Yes, I want to go with
Eh.
that answer. Yep.
Show me manatees! You just edit the fucking the Family Feud board
Family Guy
thingy.
clip.
Yeah. uh,
But no, as the humpback diver myself, yeah, I do. Yeah, I know what a whale is. Come on, like this is asking me like if I know what a human is, right? Like, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
With that confidence, I agree with everything he just said. Yeah,
But
as you
no,
know, look at his avatar. He poaches those things for a living. Of course, he knows what a whale is. I'm just kidding.
I didn't poach him. No, he was a catch and he was a catch and rescue. Okay, I swear.
You have like the pose beam from Wildcrest that one villain has. He's just stuck in a perpetual state of frozen.
Yeah.
What's her name? What was her
Like
fucking name? It was Dinita
it was
something.
something.
It was started with a
She
D. I
had
think
like
it was Dinita.
Danita, yeah, yeah, it was Danita. I put like a picture of her if anyone remembers.
For reference, yeah. But anyways, yeah, this is our
Then
first time watching Casual Geographic, and I've seen his stuff before and reels and some of his older videos, and I really enjoyed him. I always loved animals and just nature in general. I remember like always looking at the National Geographic channel or Discovery Channel with my dad back in the day. We used to watch it a lot, and we still do. So I've always been an animal person. So and once I found this channel and how like I guess casual he is, like to his name, he's so laid back and chill about these animal facts. It makes it so much more entertaining than like your normal boring just like narrator over like some footage, which
the
can be
hippo
entertaining, but like
eats
at a certain
leaves.
point it gets kind of boring
Yeah,
once you get older. So I'm really glad I was able to find a channel that still like is able to take that like part of my brain because I just love animal. I think they're very interesting.
I have to agree. Honestly, I think like he used to be called like Hood something. It was like
Yeah,
basically
Hood
like a
Nature. I
National
think it was Hood
Geographic.
Nature.
Yeah, if like basically it's like National Geographic, but like in the hood basically.
It's just
See
like
that
its
that's
own
a
like
whale.
style with yeah.
That has Black Force energy.
Black Force energy. The killer whales has the Black
Like
Force
Air
energy
Force
of the
energy,
sea.
boys.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I told George if we could react to this because this talks about my other half of people, the cetaceans, the whales, obviously. So I thought it'd be really cool to react to this as a
My
whale
other
person.
my other half of people. You're gonna sound like that fucking dog guy who's like, actually my name is Fire Dash or whatever the fuck it was from the side I have.
Actually, actually, I'm a
I'm a pyrofox. Isn't that what he said? A pyrofox?
pyrowolf
Well, pyro
or
wolf or something like
pyrofox. It was
that.
pyrofox.
Yeah, one
Yeah, it
of
was
those
pyrofox.
things. But
I'm a,
you're gonna end up sounding like
I'm a
that
pyrofox.
Guys, he's not like that, right? He just really
Hey, put more.
admires the creatures.
You gotta put respect on the cetaceans, George. Okay, they're very silly animals.
I can't wait to learn more about whales because I only really know a couple things about whales and I don't really have a broader knowledge to whales compared to like other animals. So I'm really
Makes
curious
sense.
what
Makes sense.
new things I could learn about them. And I assume you know a lot more than me, so
I do.
I guess we'll see if we can both learn something new out of this. So yeah, without further ado, let us watch this.
Dead. My bad. I thought he
Anyways,
was
okay.
coughing.
This is a whale.
My bad. I thought he was coming.
But this is also a whale. So is this one. And this is where all the problems started. Fun fact, I'm left-handed, so I'm not always right. And when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And boy, I was wrong about this aquatic Oreo onslaught. And chances are, so were you. Chances are, you have no clue what a whale actually is. And to explain, we need some
Wow.
more.
That
If
dolphin's
you're
got
watching
wrecked.
this or reacting to this, and you happen to be afraid of whales, you can blame it all on this guy. You see, this guy, thanks for pausing,
Whoa.
by the way. This guy had a problem.
Thanks for not
In fact,
pausing.
He saw where things were headed on land and decided they wanted none of it. Funny enough, some of them decided that losing legs wasn't worth it and chose to stay on the dry side. And about 50
Okay.
million some years later, they would become the most
No, the
influential
hippo.
to grace this channel, which means Cetaceans, yes, the closest living relative of an African homicide horse that technically can't swim, is a group of animals that swim full time. Speaking of
Wow.
which, those that chose waves over caves enjoyed ample resources with less competition. With all those resources plus plenty of plot development, eventually that led to
Whales of the world.
Blue whale.
Good choice. Good choice.
Humpback whale.
I wonder what that's
That
referencing.
is
It's
how we
me.
got the giant
It's
leap
right.
that we all
The guys,
know
that whale
and
was
live
made
slightly
specifically
fear
for
today.
me.
But the public school system means there is a lot we and internet backwards hat heads have misunderstood about them, and the biggest thing is what exactly a whale is. Well, here it goes. Cetaceans are mammals
Okay.
that store
That is
fish
seal in a
and
Love
beluga.
that
What is
pound.
that?
point
I
is
mean,
lost in being a
pun. I don't
constitution,
know why I said
same
pun.
traits, no relation means convergent evolution. Except manatees and dugongs. They're more related.
Look at that little fella on the
There's
left.
two types of cetaceans, baleen whales, aka the toothbrush bristles for teeth type, and on
Yeah,
the other
okay.
side are odontoceti, or toothed whales. You know all this. We talked about this, but let's talk about those toothed whales. Starting with families of I don't know how to pronounce any of this, by the way, but Zoophiidae, or the beaked whales. They're probably the most underrated and understated whale we'll talk about. I kind of
That's a
feel bad for them.
sophisticated
It's
one
not that we're
right
not
there.
curious. It's just that their growth
It kind of
curves
looked like a
take them to the
dolphin, or
absolute
just like a
crotch of the
normal fish,
ocean at
actually.
up to down to nearly 10,000 feet, or 3,048 meters, or about 33 statues of liberty. They also do really bad in
Damn.
captivity. Like, as bad as you think a whale would do, they subvert that. They also look like dolphins with the aspect ratio.
Yeah, looks
screwed
like-
up. You know,
yeah.
some movies will tell you that it's been modified to fit your screen. Nature did this blimp dolphin no such favors. Also, the Cuvier's beaked whale can hold its breath longer than any other mammal, with an all-time record of 3 hours 42 minutes.
Damn.
Which is probably why we know so little about them. 99% of their time is in ocean
Fair enough.
incognito, so you know seeing a whole pod of them is something special. Now the next family of toothed whales is Physeteridae, or the sperm whale. I also feel bad for them because a misunderstanding got them immortalized being branded after baby batter. You see, what had happened was when whalers back in the day cut up the supersized cetacean, they were met with an organ filled with a chalky substance called spermaceti, which they assumed was just a nectar of nativity. What it actually is this kind of
Those clips are
gel that helps
diabolical with
amplify
that
the
context.
sounds they use. Diving, but we're not totally sure. But it's definitely not make a baby broth. Speaking of which, population paced
Okay.
whales also dive deep. Not as deep as a Cuvier's beaked whale, but deep enough to trigger the devil's ring camera, or far enough to jump scare a deep sea drone. You know what? I get it. Because if I was a recovering cetophobic, this would take me right out of remission. But if it helps, there is no documented case of a sperm whale census subtraction.
Yeah, just make it. Imagine swimming and you just look down, and you just see that coming towards you. That is insane.
I think it should be fine. Like, you know, I know they're predators, but I think they're
Oh
killers
yeah,
for the most part.
yeah. I
'Cause,
think
you
that's
know-
what he was about to say too before I paused him. But yeah, what you were gonna say something? Something else, I mean.
No, it's like it's more like their size, because you know, for them being so
Yes.
big, why would they
Mhm.
like want to chase down like a human, right? That wouldn't be worth all the energy to just eat that one person. So, you know, for the most part, they're chill.
Yeah. I was just gonna say it's looking down and saying that would be insane. Not because like I would think I'm like gonna die or something or he's gonna eat me. More so because that would probably be the closest like huge ass thing I'd probably be really close to. And so just like the intimidation, I guess, of just seeing that really big
be
creature
insane.
just casually swim by you would be like, damn.
Even though they could technically do it without touching us, as arguably the loudest animals on Earth or at least something close, the same clicks they use to hunt could possibly vibrate you to death, if not just knock
True.
you out. Which apparently has happened. But they're not all bad. The spawn of Moby is
Oh, that'd
very
be so terrifying.
family-oriented and will even host family reunions. And they practice democracy because they make decisions as a group, and sometimes they'll spend over an hour arguing which way to go and how fast to do it. That's mighty considerate for the
Wow.
literal biggest predator on the planet. Oh yeah, there's also the much smaller dwarf sperm whale. Not to be confused with the pygmy sperm whale.
That's me if I was a
They're
whale.
like nature's apology letter. but they're giga
Lower
sized
accurate.
cousins. They also always
Lower
have
accurate,
humpback diver.
Don't you know that's exactly how
Look
they
at it.
What a
Little
little
goofy
face.
little guy.
with reddish brown liquid as diversion. It's like a smoke bomb from their anus.
Ah.
Although not sure how effective it is when
Smoke
you
bomb
proceed to
from their
rear end
anus.
a rock. Okay, that's two families of toothed whales. Next are
Kind of
Plancidistidae,
like when
or
like
the South
squids
Asian
or
river
octopuses
dolphins.
like
Squids.
spray
You know
ink.
what? I'm gonna
Yeah.
include the South American river dolphins, even though they're really not even related. Matter of fact, they're not even dolphins.
These are the
But
only
yeah,
ones that
footage
actually
is just
scare me, and I
beginning.
don't know
This
why.
undersea anxiety unicorn is more related to actual dolphins than what folks call river dolphins. But yeah, not a real dolphin, just a beady-eyed snout whale named purely off of vibes. Some something
Okay.
rhyme about conversion evolution, but basically they peeped the fish-eating Gario's headwear and figured they could make it
Yeah.
work for them. But yeah, the Amazon river dolphin is an exceptional kind of freaky. Not only does it look like nature's discarded chewing gum got on a diss track, it seems like every time it go viral, it's for some NSFW nonsense. A photographer once
Now,
caught two river dolphins playing with a Benny anaconda when he realized two things. Their leather pool noodle was dead, and both dolphins' privates were standing at attention. And recently, another
Oh.
river whale made headlines for urinating in the air, with another one following the stream, like Marco Polo, but with piss. Scientists were stumped.
But with
Kind of
piss.
uneducated internet guess. You see, dolphins can recognize
like
each other
Marco
by
That-
name,
Polo,
which
but
is
was
that-
actually
pissed.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that
But also
cutout
they
was
check
fucking
our mark
hilarious.
by sampling their southern showers, so they got that two-factor authentication. And while they might not be blind, with the murky cataract water they live in, they might as well be. So maybe this is just two dolphins using Forbidden Face ID before giving them the
Forbidden Face
or that could
ID.
just be their idea of male bonding. Because there's also been a rumor that allied male river dolphins will do questionable things to each other's blowholes. It hasn't been proven, but I wouldn't put it past them. There's even a
Wow.
legend that says river dolphins will morph into human men at night and try to seduce and impregnate human women. Now, I don't want to go too hard on them.
What?
Mostly because there's a portion of Twitter that genuinely believes I hate
This
dolphins. But also
little
'cause
guy
they've
wouldn't
done
do
river
that, right?
dolphins generationally dirty, whether by habitat destruction, pollution,
Next, you're gonna tell me
or
otters
just
are freaky
killing them to
too.
make bedroom pills, if you know what I mean. A
gonna
moment of
tell him?
silence for the Chinese Baiji, who likely died out in 2002 and hasn't been seen since.
Damn.
And now we finally
Damn.
get
Yeah, I
to
haven't
the
seen him at the
North
family
Pole.
reunions.
The real reason I'm making this video. It's a super
Haven't
family
seen it in the
reunion
family
containing the real ocean.
Yeah, your tree, your like family tree is kind of crazy right now. Have you even seen the other side yet? What was the other ones? Yeah, the ones that they just have the filter feeding teeth or brushes. I mean, I think is
have
what you call them.
actually. They're very nice.
Very polite.
Very
They're trying to
polite.
convert me into veganism, actually.
They don't understand that I have to eat krill because that's all I can eat. You know, they don't understand that.
That's all you know,
God.
So it's gonna be hard to transition.
The transition,
Understandable,
obviously, you know. I already tried coffee. You know, delicious, obviously. But
One of the
tried
few
krill
man-made
coffee.
things that are pretty good.
Exactly, exactly. Krill coffee is where it's at, though. You know.
Krill coffee. Well, what is the difference? Instead of beans, they crush up fucking krill.
Yes.
It's that simple, huh? Okay.
It's like a
super family.
granola bar, but in liquid form. Okay.
It's like a granola, but in a liquid form. Understandable.
Exactly.
Containing the real oceanic dolphins, Delphinidae, dolphin understudy the porpoise, a sentient squishmallow, and social.
Look at him go.
He was so squishy. He was
Look at
him.
Oh, goofy
He's so
Albert.
squishy. I love him.
Look at him go.
Social anxiety in whale form. And the biggest oceanic dolphin of Delphinidae is the orca. Look, I'm gonna make this quick because you probably already heard this, but every time you've heard me say killer whales aren't actually whales, they're dolphins, it's like me saying
Damn, that
humans
dolphin
aren't
went flying.
simians, we're primates. Every dolphin is a whale, but not every whale is a dolphin. And I'm kind of embarrassed it took me that long to realize. Now, to be fair, it is true that killer whales were named less after their homicidal intent and more after what they were seen doing to other whales. And while it is well documented what orcas do to the world around them, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't actually think orcas are evil. In fact, I'll prove it. So this camera crew was documenting a group of zebras hunting, and all was good.
I mean, no animal's really evil. They're just,
They're just being them.
going by
basically.
instinct. Yeah.
She approached a completely defenseless and totally exposed man and examined him, almost like she was considering what the next move was. The next move was a 4-ton high-contrast ceticide, offering him a half-eaten stingray, even gesturing towards it at the diver. She even picked it up and tried to basically hand it over to him like he was an anorexic orca. But later on, the same crew would find a much bigger bull male orca trapped in fishing lines and on the verge of drowning. Now this was different. This was a scared, panicking juggernaut that could easily murk anyone that got close. For reference, a bull elephant in the same situation would likely kick your chest in. The divers would make the gamble of cutting him free while very much in the Giga Guppy's hitbox. He didn't lash out, he didn't resist. The male stood still, almost like he understood what was happening. And this is the same animal that allegedly won't give moose a pass. You've probably heard that a wild orca has never turned a human into a headline. And it's probably because that's just not their culture. Orcas have a genuine culture and different languages. And when I say languages, orcas in New Zealand have a different accent from those in Norway. They also have
apparently they have like their own little trends within their community.
Same ones we do.
They have like different inflections, like like you just said, like if we like us different languages. Like if you're from the south or something, you're gonna have a different dialect than someone born in the south or something.
Yeah. I think that's so
Norway.
cool
They also have
That is really cool.
because
I never knew
too.
about that.
they are the second most intelligent animals behind humans. So like it's so cool that they have their own cultures and everything like that.
Yeah, and different languages within their own little sub language and
Like
how they
a trance,
communicate.
like the same ones we did
Uh,
back in the ancient time of the
apparently,
Look at
1900s.
that fish, he's just chilling on top of his head. Anyways, yeah.
I was gonna say, I think he might say it in this video, but apparently, I think like a year ago, there was actually a trend amongst the orcas where they would just sink ships because they thought it was funny. Apparently, that was a trend. I could be wrong.
No, I think I do remember hearing about that. That's funny.
It's
80s,
dangerous, but like
Chinese folks were wearing
for
dead
them, it's just a
salmon
game.
as hats. Except it was
Oh,
started
look,
by a
what?
lady orca in the Cape pod of British Columbia. The salmon sporting trend spread to even other pods, but like all
Wow.
fads, it suddenly fell off, never to be seen again. Yeah, that was a lie. In 2019, the salmon spectacle spun the block, this time with a young male, proving that like baggy clothing and iPhone obsolescence, some trends never die. And if I had a nickel for every time an orca went viral for its headwear, I'd have 2 more nickels than I woke up with. But that second nickel would be a lot more bittersweet. A mother orca telequa was observed carrying her past tense baby for over 2 weeks and covering over 1,000 miles. It's not crazy that
Damn.
she did it. It's how long she refused to let go. What's crazier was that was 2018, and in 2025 she lost another baby and did the exact same coping tactic again. Now if it makes you feel better, the mother known as J35 has had 2 healthy children, one born in 2010 and
That's
the
good.
other in 2020, but it's always the losses that stay with you. Yeah, orcas feel all the feelings, including empathy, which might surprise you after you've seen one slap shot and sink into orbit. But what looks like playing with their food is actually how grand orcas teach the little ones what to eat and how to eat it. And if that sounds cruel, just remember, if they didn't do that, there'd be a lot more cases of monochrome maniacs murking mankind. Because the ocean is their omakase, and there's nothing alive that can check an orca. This is a pilot whale. It is the second largest oceanic dolphin. They're also the Ferrari of whales, because their hunting involves sea sprinting towards prey at
The
their
Ferrari of
50-mile-per-hour
whales.
bursts, which is
I actually never heard of
conceptually
them
Sure.
before.
for such a big dolphin. And it might be
I've
why
seen them
pilot whales
before,
have the
but
juice
like
to
I just
press a
paid no
pod of
attention
killer
to them.
whales. Gangs of pilot whales have been recorded pulling up to orcas en masse and sending the apex predators packing. There was even
Damn.
a case of problem-seeking pilot whales pulling up on scientists playing the sounds of orcas feeding. Now, there's a lot of reasons
Wow.
this could be happening. One is that maybe they eat the same foods and figured they could finesse some calories for themselves. But my personal favorite headcanon is that pilot whales practice the art of offensive self-defense, aka the honey badger method. Be so much of a problem that most predators don't even
okay.
bother. But one thing, and I really should say this more often, but there are no definites in nature. Pilot whales apparently DoorDash smoke straight to orcas, and orcas have been known to prey on pilot whales, so you'd expect the two to have beef. But a mother orca was also seen adopting an orphan baby pilot whale. So who knows what the pilots be packing? And then there's this guy, another dolphin on steroids that is definitely not an orca. In fact, it's a false killer whale, a jaws paralysis demon, and thalassophobia final boss. There's something about those eyes my spirit doesn't vibe
Yeah,
with.
what the fuck
It
is
doesn't
that?
help that they can
What
roll
kind of
the
look is
numbers
that?
to
Don't look at me like that.
100, 500, and if this demon
Yeah, he's not
guppy
very
is your new
popular at the family
nightmare,
reunions.
it's because you don't know them.
Look at that
Known to share
face.
food and hand fish over to humans for no real reason but goodwill, which actually makes a lot of sense since falsies will seek out other dolphins like bottlenoses as hunting buddies. Sometimes they seek out even more, leading to the hilarious hybrid known as a wolfin.
A
Life
wolfin?
finds a way. There's many dolphins in Delphinidae.
Life
This video
finds
will
a
look
way.
like Endgame if I describe them all. But there's a lot more dolphins than just a star flipper, like the Irrawaddy dolphin. Just look at his face.
Never-
Very
Look at those
very
faces,
cute.
yeah.
Ocean hourglass dolphin. But there's more than
Those
just
look
dolphins
cool.
in Delphinoidea.
Yeah,
We
I've never
also
seen
got
those
dolphin
before
little
either.
brother, the porpoise, the smallest of all whales, with the smallest porpoise being the
Oh,
vaquita
he's
at a
French-shaped.
modest less
I
than
can
Nah,
hardly-
we freaking found the
their
lore
name
accurate
does
agent.
mean little cow. And unfortunately,
Little
there's
cow.
less than 10 little cows left in the world.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Delphinoidea are
Yeah,
belugas
damn.
and narwhals. Belugas are my second favorite cetacean of all time. They're a bayside baby.
Yeah.
And they have the same personality. They've been called
That one at the
canaries of
beginning was
sea
so
due to the
squishy.
sounds of their symphony. I could never understand why I found this sentient marshmallow so adorable, but I think I figured it out. It's because they're the only whales that can turn their necks like us. Belugas are a boon from Poseidon, with some of the strongest family ties on Earth, and every summer, they'll return to their birthplace to molt, add life, and chop it up with old family members. In Hudson Bay, that means over 50,000 belugas in
Damn.
one place. Speaking of family, the beluga's closest relative is the narwhal. They actually belong to the family Monodontidae, which means one tooth, even though moving on. Narwhals typically have 2 teeth, one in their mouth and the giant ice pick coming out of their head. I say
Yeah, I did know
typically
that
'cause
actually.
narwhal
I
tusks are a
remember
lot
learning about
like
that.
legs. Some people have 2, some have 1, and those that lose the lottery wake up with none. It's not certain what the tusks are for, but I say it's a flex because any question mark in nature usually has to do with. We don't know that much about them because I was not thinking about them being anxiety chariots. When narwhals get scared by humans, their hearts actually slow all the way down, even if they're
Damn.
actively trying to flee. Questionable character design, but it means narwhals can legitimately get past tense by a panic attack, which is why if one gets lost, it's basically curtains. One narwhal somehow ended up 600 miles away from his own kind, and with no one to show him how or where to hunt, it looked like this cetacean was finna say goodbye. Until scientists caught him traveling with a pod of, the sea squishies. Belugas and narwhals normally don't even run into
The
each
sea
other, so
squishies.
that makes this even more wholesome. And the fact that he survived the winter means Beluga Gang taught the lonely narwhal how to feed. You'll love to see it. And that's all the toothed whales. On the other side are filter-feeding baleen whales, like the biggest animal to ever live, the blue whale, the
blue whale,
right whale, and my favorite cetacean, the humpback whale. Now I know there's some of you afraid of this giant roving blubber rest stop. I can't imagine.
You paid him to say this propaganda?
Sorry again. I thought it was coffee.
Forgot about it. Well, that guy survived because it is physically impossible for a baleen whale to swallow a person. In fact, the biggest animals in nature can barely swallow anything bigger than a grapefruit. So if you ever get caught up in krill and a whale accidentally takes you, expect to be spit out.
But still, that'd be so terrifying.
That one would be fucking terrifying.
I don't think I'd ever return to the water after that, honestly.
That would be you getting swallowed.
But also, they don't have expressions, and a lot of times you can't see their eyes, so it's pretty hard to even imagine them as alive. But what if I told you the fact that they're so big is why you shouldn't be afraid of them? Humpbacks are my favorite cetacean because their generational feud with orcas means they'll interfere with their hunts even if the target isn't their own kind. Even the sounds of an orca hunt can bring the humpback hood to their front door, and humpback whales have been recorded saving seals,
we don't like them orcas.
even other whales from the bark
cause problems in the family reunions. It's pretty bad.
Recorded saving humans, with one shielding a scientist from an 18-foot tiger shark.
I do remember that, yeah.
Put scientist Non-Hosser on his head and carried her to her boat. And the funny thing is, if we didn't see them do this with other animals, nobody would believe her. But with there being no recorded case of a baleen whale purposely attacking a human, they're much more likely to try to save your life than threaten it. Also, they seem to be aware of how much smaller everything is around them. Baleen whales have giant fins, often encrusted with sharp barnacles. In theory, they could shred you something nasty if a whale backfins you. But there have also been reports of whales using those fins to gently nudge divers without injuring them, like in the tiger shark story. My theory is they're so big and so intelligent.
Like, you know, that's a canoe, right? I just
Yeah.
love that to him. That's basically like a toy boat.
Basically, yeah. I love how gently he touches it too.
My theory is they're so big and so
just
intelligent
boop,
that
just a
Baleen
little
Brigade
boop.
has no real reason for pointless aggression. Really, they're just giant salt puppies. And I am not advising you to go touch a whale, but gray whales are famous for being the friendliest, and in some places will curiously approach boats and even show off their babies to people. But yeah, whales are chill like that, and if you're still not convinced, I'm more
Whales are chill like that.
If this video gets to 250,000 likes, I will go out into the ocean and swim with a whale. Why so high? Well, one problem. I can't swim. I mean, I can get from A to B, but
You just like me for real.
I'm not great at it. Definitely not enough to be in the open ocean. Also, I can't tread water, and I physically can't float. I've tried, it ain't happened. But if we hit the goal, I will learn how to swim well enough to make eye contact with a whale. Cause hot take, whales and elephants might just be the only animals on the planet where you can make eye contact with them, and there's a genuine mutual understanding of intelligence. But that's just me. Why didn't I say apes? Well, you make eye contact with a chimp and you tell me how that goes. You know?
I don't want about the He just sniped it with a fucking Coca-Cola bottle. What the fuck?
Do that one more time, like,
oh
holy
my
shit.
god. That shit was so funny.
I didn't expect that, honestly. He was just running around goofily. He was like, oh,
Yeah, I thought he was just gonna like post it up, but no, he fucking threw that shit at it. Anyways, with 200 million likes, and we'll go to a zoo exhibit. Let's go.
We'll give the chimp a Coca-Cola bottle. Recreate it, you know.
We'll ask for permission.
And for real though, don't do that, by the way.
Yeah, no,
Don't go
that
after
was,
us.
a clear joke.
Please don't hate dolphins. I don't even hate dolphins, and I'm a.
Oh, word?
Y'all in the next one. You get it? Cause y'all have a good one.
Yeah, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I think they're my favorite whales. from what we learned. Although humpback whales are pretty chill, I guess.
What?
Narwhal.
Narwhals are so cool, but apparently you can't keep them in zoos because you know they're so
Yeah,
like
they're
scaredish.
Yeah, like we learned, they're very antisocial.
Yeah, they don't do well in zoos apparently.
Nope.
Sadly.
It's okay, Adrian. You can see them forever in Star versus the Forces of Evil. They're a spell. It's fine.
Narwhal. The fin whale, of course.
It's literally just called the fin whale. I just realized I had that on full screen the whole entire time and it didn't lag. Wow.
Crazy. Maybe because we put it at 720p. Who knows?
True. But anyways. Yeah, that was why you probably have no idea what a whale is. And I could see why there was a bunch of confusion. Even he admitted that he got it like wrong in the past. But like any good person, he corrected himself and he was able to learn and grow from it. Although I'm sure the fucking comments of his previous videos were probably yelling at him like, "What do you mean?
What do you mean?"
Guys,
Those are
everyone
not
can
whales.
make everyone can make mistakes, guys. Okay. Jeez.
Exactly.
But
Like,
anyways,
you know,
yeah,
my-
there's
like,
definitely
you
a
know,
lot more things I learned about whales and some whale species that I'd never even heard of before.
I kind of I already knew like most of these like whale species to be honest, because you know I am the humpback diver. I should know my own kind, you know. But like you know, genuinely, oh yeah, the narwhal one. I didn't know I didn't know a lot of them could be born with two tusks. I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought it was
I
just like a
didn't
one
know
tusk.
that either. I also didn't know that they could just straight up just not be born with one, which I guess makes sense. You know, humans have also genetic like defects and
Things
stuff.
like that.
Some are born with like an extra finger or something like that.
Yeah.
So that makes sense that some can just naturally just not be born with one of those. Well, I also did know that was actually their tooth, and I'm sure for a lot of people maybe they didn't think that was a tooth. Maybe they just
But it
thought it
is,
was a
guys.
horn or something. But yeah, it's just a really really long tooth.
Also, I didn't know this fact. I mean, he didn't show it in the video, but like, apparently narwhals and belugas can have children. They're called narlugas, I think they're called.
He did not mention that, but he did mention another like the dolph wolf or wolfen. I think it was
The
the wolfen. Yeah,
wolfen, yeah, the
he
wolfen.
did mention that one, but I did not know about the other one. Wow, great. I think swimming with a whale would be so cool.
It'd be so cool, but
I'd be exactly
I-
like him. One, I can't smell. I can't smell. I can't swim. That's what I was trying to say. I can't swim, and like also no, that's really much it. I just had to learn how to swim. I think I would be down to do it though. That's definitely like a life experience you wouldn't forget.
I don't think I would do it because I have thalassophobia. If any, like, you know, like, my character is sort of like the Batman. You know, like, I'm named after like a creature of the sea, but like I am terrified of the fucking ocean. I don't like it.
Exactly. I
But,
think he has actually. I think doesn't he have a video where he's like he has like a telephophobia or something like that? I think he does. Where he's just
yeah,
like
I saw that one.
reviews.
I didn't like that one. I didn't like that one.
No, no way, no way, no way. You didn't like it.
No way, no way. But like, anyways, I did want to say
Yeah.
though that like, you know, even though I'm scared of the ocean, the whales are like the one creature that I'm of the sea that I am never scared of because they're so chill.
Well, look at the beluga whale. He's just a squishy little fella.
He was a squishy little dude. I love him.
I think even before like what well definitely before this video I think my favorite word out of the whales was the beluga whale. I think they just look really goofy. They always seem
Yeah,
so
no, he's-
playful
yeah,
from like
like-
the videos I see. They always just look so playful. And,
Yeah,
like
they're squishy.
and those are
They're
in
like
captivity.
squishmallows.
Those are in captivity too, right? I think he did show a video.
Yeah,
A level 11
yeah.
to captivity.
They can be in captivity. They're a
That's
lot
pretty
better at
cool.
it than narwhals.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And also, as he said, like I didn't notice that. Yeah, like at all that belugas are like kind of the only whales that can turn their heads like that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. But I'm glad he put like video footage of that because I was like, oh yeah, look at him. He's just like turning like he's actually like engaging with like the conversation with him
person?
or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
And also, apparently, belugas have been militarized in the past before. I think they're still militarized in some places.
Beluga whales.
Yeah.
It's because no one expects them. They're like, oh my gosh, look at this chill little goofy little creature.
Look at this
Let him
little,
swim
look at
by.
this chill little whale.
Yeah, look at him swim by. Anyways, let's go back to doing our nightly duties. And while he's like getting intel for the other for the
for
opposing
the
side.
enemy. For the enemy.
What an ultimate deceit plan, actually, if that's actually what what they do. Like they just have a really small recording device like attached to them that you can't really see with your naked eye. So all they see is just like a beluga whale just chilling.
No, but it's like really cute though, because apparently if they are militarized, they get like little military vests. I've seen it before.
Okay, well I
They're
guess
very
that
cool.
kind of ruins their undercover work.
But like like try swimming after a beluga. It's gonna outswim you and outdive
Oh
you.
yeah, yeah. And plus they're like deep in the surface, so unless you have like a submarine or something. And
True,
even
true.
then it'll be like deep in the water, so it'll be kinda hard to see. So but yeah. Just imagine you being in a submarine and a giant octopus just shows up like, oh, okay.
Oh God, hell no. Hell
That'd
no.
literally be like
Goodbye, ocean. Never
that'd be
loved
like
you.
a Cthulhu level threat, even though it's not Cthulhu. It's gonna seem like a Cthulhu level threat. That's crazy.
That's why like
I always wanted to
whenever I
see
see
like what an actual sperm whale and a giant octopus fight would actually look like. Because like
I
obviously they live down in the ocean, so we literally can't. We don't have any equipment that would be able to do that. And they're both large
yeah.
creatures, so even if we did have equipment, they'd probably get like destroyed in the midst of battle.
I like to imagine someone just like attaches like a little tiny GoPro to like a sperm whale and just happens to catch it.
That would be insane, yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
Sperm
Now, for
whale
one, I don't know how you
POV.
retrieve it, but like, yeah.
Yeah, how would you retrieve it? Yeah, I mean, he didn't really go into like the others. I mean, he did, but like, I don't know if there's more he could have covered from the other side of the whales, the other family of whales, the ones that have like the brush-like teeth. Um,
Oh no, that's what the baleen whales are.
oh yeah, but I feel like he covered more
Oh,
of
you
the
wanted to
ones,
know
unless
more
they're
about him?
yeah,
Okay.
unless there were like not that many, or at least the most interesting ones were those. I mean, those were the ones from the other side were the ones everyone really knows. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Even though he did cover some that I didn't know, like the really small whale that I'm dwarfing on the name right now. But he was like the world's smallest whale. There's only 10 of them. I'm like, what? Why?
Yeah,
Why are there only 10
it's
of them?
really sad. I think I could be wrong, but it was not River Monsters. There was a TV show that actually caught one, and like they're so like critically endangered that they could only get like I think like 50 seconds of footage of it and before they had to release it back into the wild.
Wow. Yeah, how would you even like try to do conservation efforts on that because they're so small and we know so little of them because
Their
like what
numbers
you
are so
said.
low that I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't save them anymore. Their
Yeah,
numbers are too low.
if you try to conserve one of them, you would have to get another one of the opposing gender to try to and like we don't even know if they did good at work activity, so that could have just been like two dead for no reason.
Yeah.
So yeah. I wonder where their habitat is.
I mean, he said like I think freshwater, so I think like rivers. Yeah, like rivers basically.
Oh, okay.
I don't imagine they could live in like ponds or lakes. They'd be
Nah,
too
definitely
small.
not. Yeah. Well, the more you know. But yeah, with that being said, unless you have some last minute things here to talk about, I think we wrap it up here.
No, actually.
But yeah, it was very informative. You got a bunch of Adrian lore that I'm sure will be
Yep.
consistent, and we'll definitely not forget about it.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, this was really informative and really a fun watch as always. We're definitely are gonna do more casual geographic because like we said, we genuinely do love just learning about animals and just like seeing what new species we learn about or just see new facts that we never knew about. So this will definitely be on our radar. We'll sprinkle in from time to time amongst our other videos. So yeah, look forward to some more casual geographic in the future. Yeah, with that being said, hope you enjoyed the video and until next time. Bye.
Goodbye. Hello, guys. It is me, the back comp diver, and please like and subscribe because we share no green card. I'm illegal as shit.